I still have, I've talked to as many guys as I can. It's still not even scratched the surface. You got to be, that's why you bring in Sergey and Footy. Those guys are going to be some foot soldiers for me to, they're already doing the relationships as we speak. It's all about relationships in this game. Yeah, X and O's and all that stuff I get, but players have a voice. They should have a voice. It should be a partnership, but there's some mindsets and stuff like that that have to be non-negotiable, and I think these guys understand that the short term that have been here, that explain to them that as much as there going to be partnership and you guys are going to have a voice, but there's some stuff that are non-negotiable stuff that they're going to have to make sure that they adhere to the team, to be a team.
Connor talked about the fact that there's no passengers. You've got to be moving your feet. How much? Obviously, you're going to have a little bit of patience because you're playing 3 games in 4 days. Only one main practice, right? I mean, that's
well, 3 and 4, 1 practice, and then we got 9-day, 10-day break. So that's a tough one. But saying that, we just got to play a little more predictable hockey for me. Everybody's got to know where the puck is going. Even guys that are average skaters look faster when you play a little more predictable. And that doesn't mean not having creativity. It's more of just knowing where the puck's going, who's your man off a rush, who's playing nut front, how do you box out, and things like that. And that's why, and plus I got the Twins help me. I got a great, I'm not the smartest guy in there, put it that way. There's a lot of smart guys in there.
So the players probably, as you say, were a little nervous. It certainly was quieter than a lot of practices. Were you nervous?
No, I wasn't nervous. I have the one thing I got to be careful that there's so many things I want to do, and you got to be careful that you don't throw too much at players. I've sat in that room before, and the ups and downs, and when a player's head's spinning and they leave the rink not knowing what's expected, there's a lot of sleepless nights and it affects your game. So that's I'm sensitive to that for the players, that they quiet their mind, know what's expected when they leave the rink, and then we'll work for the next day. And don't worry about the results that happened the night before. Worry about a good practice. Here in Vancouver, I remember in Arizona, coaching them, we didn't have a lot of practice like the East guys do. So every practice is gold, and you can't just waste practices. And that's the big thing I told these guys today. Don't waste a practice. We don't have a lot of them. Make sure that you're dialed in.
So you may not know, until you have time to impact the systems, you may not know how people are going to adjust. But do you think you'll know in terms of buy-in, emotional, mental buy-in? Do you think you'll know right away?
I think so. I mean, I'm pretty good at judging that. Whether it's tomorrow or the next night, I think it's just, I just worry about today, right? Today, and I thought, listen, of course, I thought everybody bought in today. We had a good practice. I thought everybody worked hard, had a good meeting today, showed a couple of clips that I wanted them to understand. And then they go home, relax, and then we'll tackle the next topic tomorrow. So that's how you get the buy-in and the emotional, whatever, roller coaster away from yourself.
In constructing some of the lines, looked like you had JT at the middle. What's your thought on where he's best in terms of center and wing, and your philosophy on that?
Well, it's like, do you load up 2 lines, or do you just kind of spread it out? We talked as a coaching staff. I asked, like I said, there's a lot of guys that know the game. I just feel, and that doesn't mean, listen, the great Scotty Bowman, he likes pairs. I like pairs, and you can always put a guy in, and I don't want to change lines every game, don't get me wrong, but to be a good team, sometimes you have to have a guy kind of come in and out of a line every once in a while. That's okay. But I just I looked at the lines and I saw it, and I go, I like the 3 centermen and 4 centermen I have. If you have 4 good centermen in this league, you have a good chance of winning. And
Jack Studnicka obviously got an opportunity there with Brock and Bo. Is he one of the role players that you think could potentially show more if given a great?
I don't know. I got to see. There's some guys there that I don't know where. I haven't watched enough of them, and I'm relying on the other guys. Can they play? I know that playing guys 7 to 8 minutes and other guys 25 minutes a night is not going to win hockey. You win a few games here and there, but it's not. To me personally, the experience I've had, it's not going to win you consistently. It's not going to win you Stanley Cup. So that's why we got to try to figure a way of whoever's on whatever line, they're contributing. Their forward line, they have possession line. Can they hit? Can they be penalty killers? You can't have guys your bottom 6 nobody penalty kills. You'll be at I think where are we 32nd penalty kill. That has to change. So can some of these other guys penalty kill? I have to find out. there might be some growing pains in games. You know, I have to see in the first period if this guy can penalty kill, but we got to keep, we have enough coaches in there that they can teach him on the fly. So that's my goal.
Rick, I'm curious what the last 24 hours have been for you. This time yesterday, you're getting ready to be announced as the head coach. Was it like getting back on the bike today? I mean, looking at a lot of videotape, chatting with coaches. What's in the last?
Well, the best part was on the ice. Like that's what I really felt my best. You know, just being on there, watching the guys, the noise, the strategizing, and then so watching the guys compete. That's what I'm my best. Obviously, when you get off the, you know, you got to deal with a lot of different things, but that's all part of being a coach, and that's why you got to rely on, you know, your staff, you know, to put out these little fires.
Have you personally met with JT yet? Is he one of the guys?
Yeah, I talked to him. Yeah, I talked to him. Yeah.
Well, any impressions of?
I thought he was great meeting. I mean, everybody always probably says that, right? You have a first great meeting, but he's a sincere guy. A couple of things that he wants me to help him work on, which I love guys that are transparent. You know, hey, I got to work on this. Hey, I'm not good at this. There's some stuff I love about the guy. You know, he can dominate a game. I want to see that. The other stuff we'll work on, but he can, listen, he knows he's got to work on a couple of things, and I got to help him. That's it. And I got to, like I said, I keep saying to the other guys, we have a lot of guys that can really help him.
Sergei Gonchar obviously can have a significant impact on a lot of players on this blue line. But for example, today at practice, he had a long chat with Quinn Hughes, Hughes specifically, and them obviously both being offensive defensemen. What kind of impact do you think Gonchar can have on Hughes and his approach?
Well, I was with Gonch and Pitt, and he was kind of a part-time guy, but he was in my office. I loved him. We stayed together, so we became really close friends. I see what he did to some players on our team. Justin Schultz, Letang, Dumoulin. Dumoulin turned it, he's had a great career. Sergei's really smart of, playing off a guy like Mike Sullivan or myself. He can kind of come in there and just as tactical and the way he explains it, it might be a little different the way I do it. And he's just a terrific coach. That's why I brought him along. That was a big reason coming here. If I could get him, or if I could get an Adam Foote, it was important I could get those type of guys to come with me here.
You talked about tapping into the Sedins and
Yeah.
that's a part of your process. What does that look like?
Well, I just learned something today. Like we were talking about pinching, and I was a wall guy, winger, and he told me, hey, when a D goes down, you want to hit his hands with his hip, and he did it to me. I'm like, holy, that was really good. So I learned something today from them today, just on a pinch, pinch. What do you call it? With a D coming down. I thought it was awesome.